अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाह। अशहदु अल्ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह वहदहु ला शरीका लहु वअशहदु अन्ना मुहम्मदन अब्दुहु व रसूलुहु अम्मा बादु फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन अर्रहमानिर रहीम मालिकि यौमिद्दीन इय्याका नअबुदु व इय्याका नस्तईन اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله ثم لا يتبعون ما أنفقوا منا ولا أذى أنفقوا منا ولا أذى لهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون इस आयत का तर्जुमा ये है कि वो लोग जो अपने अमवाल अल्लाह की राह में खर्च करते हैं फिर
is they who spend their wealth for the cause of Allah, then follow not up what they have spent with taunt or injury. For them is their reward with their Lord, and they shall have no fear, nor shall they grieve. Today, the knowledge and understanding of the subject matter of this verse possessed by the members of the Jamaat of the Promised Messiah, on whom be peace, is not possessed by anyone else. Selflessly and benevolently, they carry out financial sacrifices. They hold a keen desire to carry out these financial sacrifices. If they are unable to contribute in accordance with their desire and wish, they become restless. This is the condition of both the old Ahmadis and also the newcomers. Only yesterday, an Arab family met me. Both the husband and wife are very well educated. They have attained PhDs. The children are also very sincere and pious and are inclined towards the religion. Despite the fact that they are very young and that they are new Ahmadis, they have a strong and close connection with the Jamaat and possess a passion. One of the children is just stepping into adulthood. However, in religious matters, he is very serious. He is 12 or 13 years old. This family took the bay'at, the initiation, a few months ago. Nowadays, due to the financial circumstances in the world, they have no job. They have just completed their education. After attaining their education, they are now unemployed. They are getting by with great difficulty. In fact, they are meeting ends meet by taking loans from their family. The lady of the household of this family, that is, the children's mother, said to me with great anguish, "My heart remains extremely restless, that as a result of being unemployed, we are not able to fully contribute towards Chanda." I explained to her that in accordance with your circumstances, whatever you are able to give or are giving is sufficient. However, she would repeatedly state that in terms of sacrifice, I cannot now remain behind other Ahmadis. This is despite the fact that she has just taken the bay'at, the initiation, a few months ago. She would express again and again that I am extremely agitated. Thus, as a result of this revolution that is brought about in the nature and disposition of those who accept the promised Messiah alayhi salam, after taking the bay'at, the pledge of allegiance, leaves no question of them mentioning or boasting of their sacrifices after the true realization. Rather, they are restless and anxious that we are not making the proper sacrifice, or that we are not making sacrifices at the standard that we desire to make it at. Then at times, disciplinary action is taken against certain members due to various reasons. In this disciplinary action, it is stated that chanda will not be taken from such and such persons. Upon this, they write to me that, "Give us any other punishment except this. First of all, we seek forgiveness and seek to rectify the fault for which we were punished. And we are making efforts to reform." They say that if you want to punish us in any way, then for God's sake, do not deprive us of contributing towards Chanda, because this is our whole life. It is a wondrous Jamaat, a community that the promised Messiah alayhi salam has formed, in which an astonishing peace and tranquility is attained through financial sacrifice. When they are prevented from making this sacrifice, their hearts become agitated. Thus, today, on the face of the earth, there is no other Jamaat, no other community who possesses this passion. The opponents of Ahmadiyyat make many claims. However, we find them making these statements in their speeches that they deliver amongst their own people. We have heard them say this many a times, that Qadianis or Mirzais, whatever they call us, that look for their own objectives how much sacrifice they make, whereas you, for the financial contribution for just one mosque or for some other project, do not pay attention or heed. These statements of the non-Ahmadi ulama, that is the Muslim clergy, or of these other non-Ahmadis or non-Ahmadi organizations, we do not find being made only in Pakistan or India. In fact, we also hear such statements being made at times in the Muslim countries of Africa. When such persons spend anything in this way, then they express that look at how much money we have spent or given for such and such mosque or for such and such welfare project for the people. Furthermore, at times in the committees and organizations that they give the monies to, we often observe internal fighting and quarrels. They say that this is how much money we have given, but now you should account for it. It has not been spent properly, or in the way it was meant to be spent. It is also a grace and blessing of Allah the Almighty upon the Jamaat that the blessings that Allah the Almighty has infused in the money of the Jamaat is not found in the money of the non-Ahmadis. Recently, I inaugurated the Jamia Ahmadiyya in Germany. There, a newspaper journalist who was a Muslim, in fact he was a Pakistani newspaper journalist, asked me that did you take any assistance from the government or from anywhere else? I replied that all of our projects and tasks are carried out through the Chanda contributions of the members of the Jamaat. This building also was constructed through the Chanda of the Jamaat members. However, if any government organization had made such a large building, or any other organization had spent money to construct this building, then the expenditure would have been far greater than what we had spent. Allah the Almighty has placed great blessings in the money of the Jamaat. In very less, great work is able to be carried out. Thus, with the pious intention that members of the Jamaat give Chanda, Allah the Almighty also infuses blessings in that to the same extent. Here I should also like to indicate towards a certain point and also mention that although by giving Chanda, members of the Jamaat do not boast about it or mention the favor or sacrifice they have made, however those who are responsible for expenditure, the administration and the Jamaat organization should be extremely careful. Expenditure should be carried out with utmost care. It is by virtue of the promised Messiah ﷺ's prayers alone that we are experiencing this affluence. Inshallah, we will go on witnessing this affluence and the blessings infused in our money. However, you need to also keep this concern of the promised Messiah, on whom be peace in view, that in terms of the money coming in I have no worry, but I am afraid lest the hearts of those who spend the money become embroiled in materialism and worldliness, and are not careful with the money. With the grace of the Almighty Allah, there is a method in place for the expenditure in the Jamaat, and there are checks in place at various stages. However, even then, those who are tasked with expenditure, whilst on the one hand need to give heed towards this, they should also engage in istighfar, seeking forgiveness of their sins, and seek help from Allah the Almighty. As the Jamaat grows, the money in the Jamaat will also increase. Whilst on the one hand, the opponents will speed up their schemes and ploys. There, on the other hand, through the hypocrites, they also make efforts to cause fissure and discord within the Jamaat. Although their endeavors are ineffective, yet we should always be careful and continuously give heed towards istighfar, seeking forgiveness for our sins, and towards prayer. We will continue to witness the blessings that Allah the Almighty bestows upon the Jamaat and the scenes of divine help and succor at every moment that is with the Jamaat, so long as we continue to make full efforts to make our connection with Allah the Almighty to go from strength to strength. I have never developed a concern of how any task or project will be completed. Allah the Almighty always makes arrangements Himself in any projects or tasks that are undertaken. The manner in which Allah the Almighty infuses the thought in the hearts of Ahmadis, and then how they strive to excel one another in making sacrifices, is an astonishing subject in itself. When the time comes to make financial sacrifices for the sake of Allah the Supreme, Ahmadis even forego their personal needs to make sacrifices. They accept going hungry, but they do not tolerate stopping giving Chanda, or that there should be any deficiency in it. This is the sign of the communities of the prophets, who are always prepared to make every type of sacrifice and actually carry them out. Thereafter they say that we have not done anything. They consider it to be a favor of the Jamaat and a favor of Allah the Almighty that Chanda has been accepted from them. As I mentioned, that when restrictions are placed upon taking Chanda from certain persons, then often such people become anxious and request for the punishment to be retracted. They plead that it will be a favor of the Jamaat if they accept Chanda from us.
जो जमाती निज़ाम को समझ लेते हैं, जिनकी तरबियत
Newcomers who come to understand the system of the Jamaat and who have been properly trained and given tarbiyat try to excel others in financial sacrifices.
कई चंदों के जो जमातों ने टारगेट मुकर्रर किए होते हैं, उनमें अगर
Sometimes in the targets that are set by Jamaats for voluntary contributions, if there is any shortcoming or deficiency, some who are well off say of their own volition that we will make good the shortcoming. There is a voice that emanates from within them. They are not compelled to do so, and nor are they forced. In fact, there is a voice that emanates from within that we must fulfill this deficiency. Why is this also? This is for the reason that they hear this pronouncement of Allah the Almighty. وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, and they shall have no fear, nor shall they grieve.
पर ईमान, यकीन और उसकी फिक्र होती है।
They have firm faith and conviction in the hereafter and are always concerned for it.
उनके ऐसे अमल होते हैं
They make sacrifices for this purpose. When they act in this manner, then they also receive the glad tidings of paradise from Allah the Almighty. They are creating a glorious future for themselves. The peak of this is attained after departing from this world. However, by future, Allah the Almighty does not only speak of the life after death, but also Allah the Almighty does not remain indebted in this life. And in this world also He also bestows great rewards and blessings. There is a Hadith Qudsi in which the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, has stated that Allah the Exalted has stated, O sons of Adam, go on spending, and I will continue bestowing upon you. Therefore the gifts and the bestowments of Allah the Almighty are for all people. However, those who spend for the sake of their religion are provided and gifted with countless blessings and rewards by Allah the Almighty. Therefore Allah the Exalted never leaves anything outstanding, with the stipulation that one with pious intention and for the sake of acquiring his pleasure carries out the sacrifice. At the present time I will relate some accounts through which it is discernible that in every part and country of the world, amongst rich and the poor, in the hearts of Ahmadis, Allah the Almighty has infused a special passion for sacrifice.
बढ़ाने के लिए उन्हें कुर्बानियों के बाद नवाज
Furthermore, to increase everyone in their conviction and faith, Allah the Almighty bestows upon them rewards and blessings after they carry out their sacrifice.
दूर दराज इलाके में है।
Now listen to the sacrifice of a newly formed Jamaat which is in a far-off and remote region of Africa. Through this one not only learns of their financial sacrifice, but also of their connection with Khilafat. Niger is a country in a remote region of Africa. The Muballigh Silsila, the missionary there, writes, this year, at the occasion of the Jalsa Salana, there was a meeting of the missionaries. Hazur says that there I addressed the missionaries of Africa and stated, there is great room for improvement in terms of the number of contributors of Chanda. This should be increased. He writes that with reference to this, when he went there and related this,
को ये पैगाम दिया
he gave this message to the region of his Jamaat in Bernikoni that this is what the Khalifa of the time has said. The Jamaat there immediately responded to the call. They increased the level of sacrifice. When they were inculcated that those who previously did not participate should now take part, this had an immediate effect. He says subsequently, in the Bernikoni region, the Jamaats there hearkened to your call.
देहाती जमातें जो इनके पास नकद
There the rural Jamaats who do not have monetary income but contribute by way of commodities.
जिस की सूरत में वहाँ
In the previous year they contributed 16 sacks by way of produce or commodities. This is a very small village with a population of perhaps 50 or 100. So in the following year they gave 52 sacks. Aside from this, those who had an income in terms of cash, they also contributed double the amount of chanda as compared to the previous year.
कि जमात गडान बराऊ
Amir Sahib Niger relates
की तरफ से पैगाम आया,
that from the village of Gadam Brau, a message was sent.
कहते हैं हम लोग गाड़ी में ये
Come and collect the sacks of grain from us.
रात के 10 बजे
He says we were returning with these sacks from the village and it was 10 o'clock at night. We passed through an Ahmadi village, Dabgava.
रात के 10 बजे
We saw that there was some khuddam standing waiting for us en route. This is 10 o'clock at night. They are signaling us to stop, so we stopped the car. They informed us, we are here on the instructions of Sadr Sahib al-Lajna and we have been here since evening and waiting for you to pass by.
इकट्ठा किया था जिनसे वो
Sadr Sahib al-Lajna of this village had collected some commodities to give for chanda.
लजना होता है, चुनाचे
The Lajna wanted to give their chanda separately. So thus Lajna on their own worked hard to this effect. They worked hard and collected their own grain.
छोटी सी गरीब जमात
The Khuddam was standing there to give this. This is a very small and poor village, which was very insignificant, but this is how they worked so hard and displayed their connection and fidelity and loyalty.
सोयो गांव के सदर साहब
The missionary of the Alada region in Benin writes that the Sadr Sahib of the Soya region Jamaat 1 year previously had converted to Ahmadiyyat from amongst the pagans. He was previously a pagan and worshipped idols, but then he became an Ahmadi and became one who submitted to the one God. When we went to collect the Waqf Jadid Chanda from him, he handed over the 450 franc sifa which he had in his house. He did not even think about what he would eat in the afternoon, as there was now no money left in his house. He rides a motorcycle rickshaw. After giving his chanda, he set off on his motorcycle. He says that God Almighty will give something. If not the afternoon, we will eat in the evening. What difference does it make? He also filled his motorcycle with petrol through a loan.
और बताया
The next day, he returned with a further 1,000 franc sifa in chanda. He informed that, Murabbi Sahib, look at the way God Almighty treated me. I did not even think about what I would eat in the afternoon, and I filled my motorcycle with petrol through a loan. Allah the Almighty then granted me with so many passengers. I left the house empty-handed and apparently in debt. Now I have returned home with an income of 2,000 franc sifa. I am giving half of it, 1,000 franc sifa, for chanda. After repaying his debt, he still had this much left over. Amir Sahib Burkina Faso relates that a new Ahmadi of the Bobo region, Kamporo Saeed Sahib, narrated, due to financial difficulty, he had not given chanda for 3 months. During this time, he also suffered from a burglary, and his young son also fell extremely ill. They tried to treat him in every way, but he would not recover.
खलीफतुल मसीह को देखा
He says that one night in a dream, I saw Khalifatul Masih. Hazur says that he saw me.
कि आपने कई माह से
He says that Khalifatul Masih has come and says to this humble one, you have not contributed chanda for some months. I replied in the chanda that inshallah I will give it within 20 days.
उसी दिन कहते
Through hard efforts, I then gave this in 20 days. He says, from that same day, my son fully recovered. Not only was he cured, but in fact, he received a better job than before. Through the blessings of that, Allah the Almighty also enabled me to purchase a new motorcycle. All of these blessings was as a result of that financial sacrifice, which was because of Khalifatul Masih reminding me, and then I made financial sacrifice in the way of Allah. This is how Allah the Almighty even strengthens the faith of the new Ahmadis. The missionary of the Vidgo region of Burkina Faso writes, the Sadr Jamaat of a village of this region, Noki Badala,
साहब कहते हैं कि वो काश्तकार लोग हैं,
Diallo Sita Sahib says, they are farming people. Before entering Ahmadiyyat, they carried out farming. However, they never had that much harvest which they are experiencing after entering into Ahmadiyyat. He says there is only one reason for this, and that is chanda. Since we have entered into Ahmadiyyat and started giving chanda, our circumstances are transformed altogether. Since we have started giving chanda, so much blessings have infused into our crops as we have never seen before. He says so many blessings have been bestowed as a result of chanda that previously we would give at the most 2 sacks of grain for chanda. This year we gave 7 sacks. The Maulvis allege that Ahmadis give money to poor people in Africa and poor countries and make them into Ahmadis. What will the Jamaat give them money? Look at their state and condition. They make sacrifices on their own and then increase their chanda. Amir Sahib Mali writes, one of our Muallims, Abdul Qadir Sahib, informed us that in the Jamaat Sunti Gila, every year Ahmadi ladies and Ahmadi men separately cultivate their crops to give chanda. That is, for chanda, apart from their own farm, they cultivate separate crops just to give chanda. Men and women do this separately. That whatever income they receive from that, they will give it all to the Jamaat. He says that in 2011, when after the harvest we went there to collect the chanda, the men and the women gave their chanda separately. When the sacks were counted, the men's chanda was a little bit more than the women. He says we loaded the sacks or this produce or commodities when the woman said, "Hold on, do not go just yet." They returned to their home and they collected 2 further sacks, because the men had perhaps given 1.5 more sacks than the woman. The woman felt that they should not remain behind the men in any circumstance. Thus they gave 1.5 more sacks, thus they gave half a more sack than the men. Amir Sahib Mali writes, a new Ahmadi, Sayyid Turori Sahib, who took the Bayat Pledge of Allegiance 6 or 7 months ago. Alongside he gave chanda of 10,000 francs sifa. When our Ma'alim returned to him, he informed him that before taking the bed and giving chanda, he and his wife would often remain ill. A lot of their expenditure would be on medicines. However, he said that since I have started giving chanda, my wife, my children and I are in good health. We hardly are ill and we have minimal expenditure on medicine. This is all the blessings of chanda. Amir Sahib Uganda writes that in Uganda the members of the Jamaat in the field of financial sacrifices are excelling in extraordinary manner. Our generous friend Mugabi Sahib lives in Ambale. In chanda and financial sacrifices he is at the forefront. He was asked to fund the construction of 2 mosques in the new Ahmadi region and for a construction of a complete block in a school. He gave a large amount of 50 million shillings by way of sacrifice and contribution. At the beginning he was asked to fund the construction of 1 mosque. He relates himself, "Since I have started making financial sacrifice, I cannot understand from where and how Allah the Almighty is granting and bestowing me." Amir Sahib Gambia relates, a friend Abdullah Walajo Sahib Al-Hajj had already gave his chanda waqf jadid. When another appeal was made to him, he gave more chanda than before. Later, when he recalled that he had given chanda twice, he said with exuberance and delight that this is a blessed scheme of the Khalifa of the time. However much I give is insufficient. A missionary of the Lia region of Burkina Faso writes, on 10th August 2012, a respected or elder person, Bongo Adwana, came to the mission house early in the morning. He says, on a daily basis, regularly I listen to Radio Ahmadiyya. This is the only station that remains on in my household. I cannot describe in words how much this radio is doing service to Islam. As gratitude, I can do nothing else but give this small amount that I wish to help towards this station. This respected elder took out 100,000 francs sifa and gave it by way of chanda. This is an extremely difficult amount to give for farmers. They explained to him the system of Jamaat chanda. A receipt was also given for the amount of chanda he gave. He was not an Ahmadi, but there is also an effect on non-Ahmadis of this. He says that because you people carry out propagation of Islam, I am giving this amount. When the system of chanda was explained to him and a receipt was given, He says, the truth of Ahmadiyyat has rooted in my heart. I have given much chanda in the way of Allah, but I have never seen such a lucid and transparent system of chanda anywhere but in Ahmadiyyat. From Benin, a local Muallim, Zakaria Raimi Sahib relates, Garba Ibrahim Sahib of a village, his pregnant wife was taken away by his in-laws due to some differences, to the extent that even the child was born in the in-laws' house. Allah the Almighty bestowed them with a son. This person tried his level best to have the son returned to him. He fought cases years upon years, but he only suffered defeat. He became an Ahmadi 5 years ago. He did not mention his difficulties in particular to anyone. This year, when he failed the case, he related all this to the Muallim Sahib and requested him for prayers. During that time, it was the phase of the Chanda Waqf Jadid. Muallim Sahib stated that I said to him that it is our belief that by spending in the way of Allah, problems are resolved. You are already an Ahmadi. You do not give heed to a chanda, give chanda, and Allah the Almighty will remove difficulties as a result. So this person then in the column of the Waqf Jadid had a receipt written for 2,000 francs sifa. A few days ago he phoned and said, Allah the Almighty showed me the blessings of chanda. Allah the Almighty returned my son. My father-in-law came himself to hand him back. He said, take care of your children yourself. He did not even ask for any remuneration, whereas previously I was ready to give all expenditure, but they would not give the son back. From Tanzania, Hassan Tawfiq Sahib relates, he used to pay a very nominal amount of chanda. The missionary there reminded him towards this responsibility. He invited him to his home for dinner, and he was explained in detail the importance of chanda and its blessings. Allah the Almighty bestowed his blessings upon him. He started regularly giving chanda, and gradually he increased the amount of contribution. He says that previously I had no property. Now, with the grace of the Almighty Allah, I am part of the Nizam-e-Wasiyat. As a result of the blessings of chanda, just in these few years, I have opened up a small plant of extracting sunflower oil. I have constructed a house, and I have also purchased 3 plots in the Yodomo city. I am also permanently helping my family in education funding, and I am also carrying out a PhD on my own expense. This is purely and only the special blessings of Allah the Almighty and the blessings of chanda. A person from India, from Calicut. With the grace of the Almighty Allah, his chanda Waqf Jadid is 201,000 rupees. He writes his chanda beyond his capacity with full belief in Allah the Almighty. He says that if I partake fully in chanda, Allah the Almighty will bless my business and my business will grow profusely. At the end of the financial year, the inspector of Waqf Jadid went there to collect chanda from him. He said that pray especially because I have no income in my account, whereas there are only a few days left for the financial year ending. He wrote out a check, and in any case Allah the Almighty bestowed his blessings on him, and he received an income at the end of the year, and he gave the full amount of contribution. In the same way, in the province of Karolai, Kerala, there is a person from there, Rahman Sahib. With the grace of the Almighty Allah, he is a Musi. The inspector Sahib said, I have seen his passion in chanda. He has a separate box for every different chanda. One of these boxes he opened before me. He then said to his wife that, bring your purse. From his wife's purse he fulfilled the promise, and apart from that, he gave 175,000 rupees more in chanda. With the grace of the Almighty Allah, until now, he has given 780,000 rupees Waqf Jadid. Before, there was no heed given in India towards Waqf Jadid. Now there is great attention developing. Magaram Iqbal Sahib, Kundori, Inspector Waqf Jadid, Andhra Pradesh, writes, there is a person of Jamaat Ahmadiyya, Jarjadala. He is only 25 years old, but with the grace of the Almighty Allah in the field of financial contributions in the district of Andhra Pradesh, he is at the first position. In 2011, he placed his promise at 66,000 rupees, but due to a lack of business, Despite great efforts, he could not fulfill the contribution, through which he was very embarrassed and ashamed. He had written down a promise. However, he was compelled he could not give the full contribution. Some friends even suggested to him that he should write to the Markaz a letter of forgiveness. However, he was so passionate in the field of chanda and financial sacrifices, he says that I have given this promise of sacrifice for the sake of Allah. He will most certainly enable me to fulfill it. He says in 2012, when the inspector went there to collect the chanda, then apart from increasing the amount from the last year, he wrote down a promise of 77,000 rupees. Whereas even then, he was embroiled in this financial difficulty. The inspector says that when in May I went there to collect the chanda, then apart from the arrears of 2011 and the promise of the next year, he gave 24,000 rupees more in chanda. He said that this is the blessings of chanda and the prayers of the Khalifa of the time that I have been able to come out of this financial difficulty, and I am giving the chanda of both years at once. From India again, an inspector Waqf-e-Jadid, Arya Nisar Sahib, relates, during a visit of Waqf-e-Jadid financial collection, I went to Jamaat Ahmadiyya Komandore, province of Tamil Nadu, for the purpose of making the budget. Nazim Sahib Mal, Waqf-e-Jadid, was accompanying me. The afternoon arrangements for food was in someone's house called Suleiman Sahib. He is a sincere Ahmadi. His budget for 2011 Waqf-e-Jadid was 160,000 rupees. He bore great difficulty to give this at the end of the year, and with much trouble he managed to give this amount. This year, in his budget, with great happiness, he wrote it down as 550,000 rupees. He says, I became extremely worried that with very difficulty in the final days of the year he gave 160,000 rupees. How would he be able to fulfill the budget of 3 times this amount? He says that because Nazim Sahib was with me, I had no other option but to write down this amount. He said after eating the food and saying prayers, we left from there. We went to another house to say the prayers. After half an hour, with Nazim Sahib Mal, we were in the car of Sadr Sahib and arrived at the mosque. That same person was standing before the mosque. Nazim Sahib Mal and myself were still sitting in the car, when Mukarram Suleiman Sahib, that person, handed to us a plastic bag. He said that after food, you should also eat sweet. Inspector Sahib says that Nazim Sahib Mal, this Molvi Sahib, has sugar problem and therefore will not eat sweet, so I will eat it. Nazim Sahib was giving me the bag, when this person said, who had promised to give that chanda and had given that bag to eat the sweet. Molvi Sahib looked at this bag, pray and then hand it over. In any case, when Molvi Sahib opened the bag, he was speechless. He could not say anything. He says, I asked him again, he was still speechless. Thereafter, Nazim Sahib, this Molvi Sahib, handed him over the bag. He says, when I looked, I saw 550,000 rupees inside it. Tears started flowing from my eyes. He started praying as well how Allah the Almighty had made arrangements for him, and thus he made this chanda contribution. Sadr Sahib, Brampton, Canada, relates, an Ahmadi who had come from the USA to Canada claimed refugee status in Canada. His asylum case became very complicated. He had gathered $5,000 to send his mother to Germany. When he was contacted for the purpose of chanda, he not only gave this amount of 5,000 which he had collected, but in fact he gave some other amount that he also had. In recompense, Allah the Almighty bestowed blessings upon him. His asylum case was accepted without any complications, but in fact his mother, after 1 week, departed for Germany. Amir Sahib, Norway, relates, one day in a local Jamaat, their attention was drawn towards the construction of Beit al-Nasr, A short while after, in freezing and snowy conditions, the late Abdurrahim Ahmadi Sahib arrived at the mission house and requested that he had an amount of 70,000 kroner which he wanted to hand over for this mosque. Thus some people, without any care and freeing themselves of all regard, give for the sake of Allah the Almighty, because they know that if they give it with a pious intention, it will be accepted in the sight of Allah the Almighty, and in any case, Allah the Almighty rewards them for it. I have related these few accounts. This is a never-ending series of the stories of sacrifices. These are such people who pledge to make financial sacrifices and then make every effort to fulfill that sacrifice and promise. Now, after this, as in the beginning of January, the announcement of the new year of Waqf-e-Jadid is made. I will announce the start of the 56th year of Waqf-e-Jadid and present some reports of the previous year. With the grace of the Almighty Allah, in the 55th year, 2012, which ended on 31st December, the Jamaat contributed £5,010,000 by way of sacrifice. As comparison to last year, this is an increase of £317,000. Pakistan, as ever, has maintained its position. Aside from this, if we look at the countries in the rest of the world, then in this sense at second, or if we compete just between the countries of the rest of the world and we start there, then at first place, this year, a good news for you people here is at this time in Waqf-e-Jadid, Britain in the rest of the world is at the first position. The USA is at second, Germany is at third, Canada at fourth, at fifth is India, Australia at sixth, Indonesia is at seventh, at eighth is Belgium. There is a Middle Eastern Jamaat at the ninth position, and then at 10th is Switzerland. In terms of currency, as compared to last year, prominent increase in terms of collections is in three Jamaats. In Australia, an increase of 42.5%, in India, an increase of 31.5%, and in Indonesia, at third position, an increase of 25.9%. Apart from this, France, Norway and Turkey, as compared to last year, have made prominent increases. In terms of contributions per person, the prominent Jamaats are the USA at the first position. Although in terms of total collections, they are at the second rank. That is, after Pakistan, if you look at it, they are second, although in terms of the rest of the world, they are at third. However, in terms of contributions per head, they are at the first position. It is approximately £88 per person. In Switzerland, it is above £55 per person. In the UK, it is approximately £40 per person, £39 per person in Belgium. In Canada, it is approximately £32 per person. This year, attention was drawn towards increasing the contributors towards Waqf-e-Jadid. With the grace of the Almighty Allah, African countries have paid special heed to this. The total number of participants in Waqf-e-Jadid is 1,013,112. Last year there were 690,000 contributors to Waqf-e-Jadid. In other words, there are 323,000 new contributors to Waqf-e-Jadid, mashallah. And this is the important thing, that there should be an increase in the contributors to Waqf-e-Jadid, so that every person can strengthen their faith and conviction, because financial contribution is also an extremely important aspect of the faith. In terms of increase of contributors in Waqf-e-Jadid, in African countries, Nigeria is at first, Ghana is at second, then Sierra Leone, Benin, Niger, Burkina Faso, and then Ivory Coast. Amongst the small countries, Cameroon, Mali, Senegal, Togo, Guinea-Conakry have all made increases. Apart from Africa, in the other countries of the world, Germany and Britain have increased their number of contributors most of all. For the first time this year, there has been some activity in the Kababir Jamaat, and they have prominently come forth. In terms of total collection in Africa, the first 5 Jamaats, Ghana is at first. May Allah the Almighty enable Ghana to always maintain this honor. Nigeria is at second, Mauritius at third, at fourth is Burkina Faso, and at fifth is Ivory Coast. The top 3 Jamaats in Pakistan, first is Lahore, Rabwa at second, and then at third is Karachi. In adults, the position of the districts, Rawalpindi at first, then Islamabad, and then Faisalabad, Shekhapura, Gujranwala, and Umarkot. There is Gujarat, Narowal, Hyderabad, and Sangar. In the Atfal, the 3 large Jamaats, the positions are as follows: Lahore at first, then Karachi at second, and then at third is Rabwa. The positions of the districts in Atfal, Rawalpindi at first, then it is Islamabad, Faisalabad, Umarkot. Comparatively, Umarkot is a very poor district, but they are at the forefront of making sacrifices. Then there is Gujarat, Hyderabad, Okara, Bahawalpur, and Darya Ghazi Khan. In terms of total collection, the top 10 Jamaats in Britain is Rains Park at first, Birmingham West at second, then Worcester Park, New Malden, West Croydon, Birmingham Central, Bethel Futur, Gillingham, Earlsfield, and then Wimbledon. In terms of collection, the first 5 regions of Britain, Midlands is at first, then South Region, London, Middlesex, and then North East. In the USA, the first 5 Jamaats in the USA, Los Angeles Inland Empire, Silicon Valley at second, then Detroit, Seattle, Chicago West. In terms of collection, the top regions in Germany, Hamburg mashallah is also progressing greatly, which is at first. At second is Frankfurt, Grosgaro, Darmstadt, Wiesbaden, Mainfranken, Hessen West, Nordrhein, Hessen Mitte, and Baden. The top 10 Jamaats in collection in Germany, Weidamar, Norwes, Hanover, Freiburg, Orgensheim, Heidelberg, Fulda, Freinsheim, Weingarten, and Moefetten. In the Daftar Atfal, the top 5 Jamaats in terms of collection in Canada, Calgary, Peace Village South, Edmonton, Durham, and Surrey East. In terms of collection, the provinces of India in their position, Kerala at first, Tamil Nadu at second, Jammu Kashmir, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, Karnataka, Orissa, Qadian, which has been included in the provinces, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, and then Delhi. The position of the Jamaats in terms of collection, Tombitur at first, Calicut at second, Karolai, Karanur Town, Qadian, Hyderabad, Calcutta, Kankari, Chennai, Bangalore, and Rishinagar. May Allah the Almighty bless all those who have made the sacrifices and also greatly bless their contributions and them. The promised Messiah, on whom be peace, has stated, "The servants of Allah the Almighty who give precedence to the faith over the world are treated with love and compassion by Him." He says Himself, "Wallahu ra'ufun bil ibad." These are such people who dedicate and devote their lives which have been given by Allah the Almighty in His way. They consider giving up their lives in the way of Allah the Almighty and to spend their money in His path a blessing and their fortune. However, those who consider the estates and wealth of the world their ultimate objective of their lives see the faith with closed eyes. However, this is not the task of a true believer and true Muslim. Real Islam is that in the way of Allah the Almighty, you should utilize all your strengths and capabilities till the end of your life, that you can become the recipient of the pure life. May Allah the Almighty enable us to continue excelling, making every sacrifice in the way of Allah the Almighty. In addition to this, I would like to also make an appeal for prayer. Nowadays, the circumstances in Libya is terrible for Ahmadis. There is no government or law there. It seems like the influence of certain factions and organizations is great. They have captured some of our Ahmadis, and reports from some parts is that they are being tortured. In any case, Ahmadis have captured them on the behest of the ulama, the Muslim clergy and organizations, and are holding them. The Ahmadis there are in great distress, in particular those who are non-Libyans. May Allah the Almighty bring about the means of their relief and release.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر.